Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. And welcome back to Let Us Play. Why can't I hear myself? That's. Hello? There we go. Somehow my volume button got turned down. It wouldn't be a return to stream after a week without some technical issue, so I'm glad to have it over with now. You even cancel your team meeting so you don't have to go to lurk mode. Yay! Good to see you, Bad Roxy. It's good to be back with y'all today. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with you. I prayed for y'all on my retreat in a special way. Kind of tried to remember everyone just by name in prayer. But it was a really nice retreat, just a nice time of quiet and good reading up at Lake George. But I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to be diving back into Kingdom Hearts 350 over 2 days. But first, Brayherd Lord has redeemed a father joke. I think this is perfect to be coming back on a father joke. So y'all know Herbie, right? The magical car featured in the 1969 movie Love Bug. Did you know that, in fact, Herbie is a 1963 model VW Bug? So that means Herbie at this point is 61, 62 years old, which in car years is like 300. So do you know where he is now? The old Vokes home. I'm very proud of that one. Anyway, also want to give a thank you and a shout out to Tenebrosis Corvus Crux for following the channel between streams. Thanks so much, you wonderful crow. This Corvus Crux or Tenebrosis Corvus. I looked this up. Somewhere in there is like the scientific Latin name of crow. So I'm not insulting this random user, I promise, and I'm glad to have you here, Tenebrosis. Let's go ahead. Let's dive back in. Ah, that's so loud! Why was that so loud? That was a lot of build-up. Thank you. There's a particular style of pun called a fagout, where you have that kind of long build-up. Truly amazing ones are like several, like they can be like half an hour long. So last time we left our heroes, Xion got her Keyblade back. Roxas is doing things. I think he's working with Xigbar. Xigbar was like, I don't know, you do it. Hey, Mesozoic Mind, good to see you. How you been? How's the new job? How's your game? Get yourself in gear, Tiger. Nope, still weird when you say it. Do we have any space? No, we took care of that. Okay. Job's working out well? I'm glad to hear that. I need to stop by sometime. I'm sending you and Sigvar to a new world today to conduct recon. Didn't I already do this? I did this mission! Somehow it didn't save after... I forgot to save after doing this mission. And this was like the last mission we did, I think. Ah. Coming back to the glitches galore. It's a Monday, that's my excuse. Oh well, it's been 2 weeks. We can replay this. Alright, let's make with the investigating and haul back home. What are we even investigating? We're investigating what's to investigate. Maybe there's new recruits around. New recruits? What kind of people does the organization look for? Nobody's. You mean with a capital N? Bingo! You know, somebody turns into Heartless if the darkness gets their heart, right? Well, say that person's heart is strong, real strong. Sometimes you wind up with a sort of byproduct, a nobody. Take the strongest of those, the real cream of the crop, stick them in a room, and you've got us, the organization. Which I guess is part of the flaw of the organization, because everyone thinks they're the cream of the crop. I didn't know everybody was such an elite. So they all think they're better than each other. Elite, as if. You and Shion are the real exceptional ones. What? Why? The Keyblade? Nobody wants to join the organization. Error, go to 10. Whoa, looks like conversation hour is over. Time to tidy up, Roxas. How do I controls? Buttons? Okay. Who am I targeting? Where? What? Sigmar, why are you putting that thing up way outside of my range? Not all of us have crazy guns like you. He's just a little cannon. He's just a little guy. With a lot of health. Ah, wrong button. I got my X and my Y backwards. Because Nintendo does it differently for no particular reason. There you are. I've been waiting for you. Huh? Welcome to the games. What took you so long? I got everything set up. Come on, hop to it. You want to be a hero? And that takes time. But I'm here to train. I know. Save your breath, kid. You're gonna need it. Oh, by the way, nice moves back there. Herc told me you had potential. Gotta hand it to him. He's got an eye for talent. I don't coach just anybody, you know. Hope you came ready to sweat, kid. No. I think you've got the wrong guy. Sigmar, tell him. Sigmar! You're fighting better than your stand-up routine, kid. Stick to what you know. You got a name? Roxas? Okay, Roxas, I gotta do double check in the training equipment. Meet me inside the Coliseum when you're ready. Don't take all day. Perfectly cromulent man. Wow, Roxas moonlighting as a wannabe hero now. Sigmar, why'd you leave me like that? To hide, duh. In case you forgot, the organization runs a stealth operation. He's drifting into surfer territory. Well, yeah, but, like, gosh, dude, still, this worked out pretty well, wouldn't you say? How do you figure that? You don't have to sneak around now that you're one of them. I'm pretty sure you'll be the best wannabe hero they've ever had. Wannabe? What's that supposed to mean? What indeed? Later. Hey, you're bailing on me? As if. I just don't want to get in the way of your valuable training. I care about your future, Roxas. There are so many lies in that sentence. It's not even funny. Ugh, fine, I'll handle this myself. Should do some recon here first before heading into the Coliseum. The statues, the architecture, everything here about this place is amazing. The building has got to be the Coliseum. Yes, the singular building is. It's a leaderboard. First place, Hercules. It looks like a leaderboard. First place, Sora. What are all these leaderboards for? Which I guess canonically means that Sora never completed the Hercules Cup? No! There we go. There are a bunch of names on the board with numbers next to them. Some kind of leaderboard? Number 1, Rock Titan. What's a Rock Titan? I have to jump just to touch the statue's knees. Good thing that there's no real warriors are this tall. Are those? Yeah, there are clouds outside the window. Where is this place? Where isn't this place? It's in our hearts, Roxas. Columns around the door. Maybe this is some kind of temple? Here's lightning bolts symbols. Look at all these trophies. This one here's definitely outshines them all. Saw lightning bolts on symbols on the doors outside. Beginner's training, 0 points. This trophy looks different from the others. This trophy is shaped like a shield. Good job, Roxas. There's a trophy sitting here. This one's kind of elaborate. Are those horns? I think I've got a pretty clear picture now. Coliseum must be some kind of arena. I'll explain all the trophies. Look like something you'd win at a sporting event. Plus, those boards outside, those must be the winners. Where's the guy on the... came first again? Soracles! Yeah, it was definitely Hercules. I guess he's the toughest guy in town. Wonder what he's like. Anyway, it seems kind of quiet for an arena. Don't hear any cheering. The competition must be over for now. So much for sneaking into the stands. If I want to do any more recon, I'll have to pretend to train here. Well, it could hurt to try, could it? Finally! Let's get started already! I apologize to all my viewers in Queens and the Bronx. Not where I wanted to send that one flying, but I'll take it. $68 points. Well, we'll just hope that you got a steep learning curve. Next time, go for 100 points minimum. Okay. Okay, one piece of fire does not Or magic does not just break it, which is unfortunate. I was kind of hoping it would. I don't think I'm gonna get it this time. That did even worse. No. All right, Roxas, let's call it a day. Not too bad for your first time in the Coliseum. Oh, it's lagging. Keep up this pace and you'll do just fine, kid. Which is good because we need all the help we can get. Help with what? Why are you looking for new people to train here anyway? I guess you could say we're understaffed. So there aren't any strong people around here? What, are you crazy? Oh, we got ourselves a bona fide hero. The champ in these parts is my prize student. Maybe you've seen him in the Coliseum before. What does he do here? Wait, are you saying you signed up for Hero Train without even knowing what the games are? Apparently. Oi, let me break it down for you, kid. There's a hero and a ginormous monster. They fight, people come to watch, and that is what the whole place is for. Really? Nothing else? Yeah, at least until those hot lists started showing up in droves. With back-to-back matches in the games and taking out the hot lists, our champ's been working too hard. So the games are like a tournament? Do I get to enter? You in the games? What's so funny about that? I got 2 words for you, kid. Outta your league. Haha, get it? Because that's the thing Phil does, is he always says 2 words and it's more. Although they don't push that joke as much in this one as from what I remember. Ah, yeah, got promise, I'll give you that. But you'll need a lot more training before you're ready for the big time. That's what this place is for, some kind of games. So stands all around the arena, people must come to watch. I wonder if they'd let me compete if I kept up with the training. Either way, I think I can RTC now. I have a pretty good look around. Wrong. Let me out. What's up, Herc? Hey, Phil, I'm back. It's about time, Hike. That new trainee scout has showed up already. Really? Wow. He said it would take him a while to get here. Must have made record time. I probably just couldn't wait to start training with yours truly. Not that I can blame him. The kid's got guts, I'll give him that. Wait till you hear this. Oh, my throat is rejecting this. Roxas must be working late. Hope Zigbar isn't giving him too hard a time. Yeah. Hey, Axel. Hmm? You know, you were talking the other day about how we all have pasts. When I sit here with you guys, it's weird. I got the strangest feeling I used to watch the sunset with somebody else. Or when I'm by the sea. What sea are you going to? I'm wondering. and I look at the water and hear the waves lapping against the shore. It's almost like I can hear another voice. So, you mean you remembered something? No, it's not quite like that. I don't know. Maybe these are memories? It just seems weird that they're mine. That's because it is weird. Hey, don't ask me. But you have memories, don't you? Yeah, not that they've ever done me any good. Guess I'm more like Roxas. Neither one of us remembers much. I wonder if he and I had this much in common before we were nobodies. Ooh, a panacea. Thunder! We had got the thunder. Yeah, we totally did this. Ah. I don't know what happened. I swear I saved. This is all cutscene, so I'm gonna skip. I'm so bad at this. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, he met these kids. They're like, oh, come have summer vacation with us. And he's like, no, I got friends. Try it again, man. Come on, just one more time. Well, what do you say? No. Roxas is done having fun. I guess you're all right. We're cool, man. Thanks. Sorry for railing on you before. Hannah was only acting all grumpy because Cypher beat his record. Yeah, that's enough from the peanut gallery. Hee hee. That includes you. Oh, great. Now even the new guy's laughing at me. So you said you were passing by. Does that mean you have to head off soon? Because if not... No, I do. I should go. All right. Sorry for holding you up. You should get going too. Yeah, anyway, we'll see you later. Bye for now. Hope we can practice grandstanders again soon. There he goes! I'll catch him. Why do we have to play games that involve running? You're not getting away after him! I'm wondering if there was like a really long mission that we left off on and I made a save state. Oh well. Hey, fancy meeting you here. Oh, hey, Axel. Whew. I slept like a log. Taking you shopping? Ooh. Can we get an ice cream? Like them? Sea salt ice cream? What's going on down there? Are the kids here on summer vacation? Nah, it can't be. It's too early. Summer vacation? What's that? A dream come true. That's a whole month off. Oof, that's a really short summer vacation. A month? How do they hang on to their sanity? I can't even figure out how to fill a day. Well, they do get a little help. Their teachers dish out plenty of homework. Trust me, it's over before you can blink. I could deal with a week, maybe. Most kids spend summer vacation just goofing off with their friends. They save the homework till the end, and then they help each other finish it. That sounds fun, I guess. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it much since becoming a nobody. So, how'd you spend the day? Hey guys, how did I know you'd be here? So, did you end up going anywhere? No, why? Did you guys go somewhere without me? Axel went somewhere. He went to sleep. What kind of vacation is that? A pretty good one, in my opinion. Hey, unlike you two lazy bones, I work myself pretty hard. Ha! Maybe you're just out of shape. Savage. Tomorrow it's back to work. Yeah. Hope we get another vacation soon. Oh, before I forget, I might not see you guys again for a little while. What? Why not? You're sending me out on a recon for a few days. Where? Can't tell. What do you mean, can't tell? It's classified. But I thought we were friends. I'm not about to tell you all my dark secrets. Got it memorized. I bet you keep a thing or two from me. No, Axel, I tell you everything. I don't have any dark secrets. Oh, well. Relax, would you? I'm kidding. I just gotta keep my mouth shut about it, or else Sykes will get on my case. You know how he gets. Yeah. Try not to bungle everything while I'm gone. Now, why would we do that? Well, considering your track record.
Hey.
Hey, don't make me come over there. What took you? It's my vacation. I can take all the time I want. Since when do I have to check in with you? You're letting yourself get too attached to them. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. You've changed. Yes. He's changed. Work to do. Roll up our sleeves, get back to work. Today was my first vacation ever. I didn't know what to do with it. Axel said to do what I like, but all I like is having ice cream with my friends, so that's what I ended up doing. And I still leave tomorrow for some kind of mission. Which reminds me, I still haven't given him the winter stick yet. Have you been customizing your weapons? A smart player knows how to adapt his game to suit the house rules. Equip a weapon with 2 or more units installed in it, then come see me. I already have that. I see you've got a weapon with 2 or more units installed. Good. I'll give you clearance for a suitable game. A new mission. Ask Sykes for the details. Hey, optional mission. Let's go. You know doing missions fills bonus gauge, right? Lets the organization keep tabs on how hard you're working. How's about it I take a little peek? Come tell me when you filled completely for 97 to 116. Have I done that? No. And I'm probably not going to. Are you training? Daily effort is the only path to strength. Yep. I want to roll. Why can't I roll in the castle? What are these rules? Kupo, help me. Greetings, Kupo. I feel like a power unit would be a good thing to buy, and I've got lots of points, so... Okay. So I definitely want to put a high potion back in, I think. Or maybe that was a regular potion, actually. That's probably what that was. What else do I have that I want to put in at this time? Maybe, honestly, remove this ability unit. I don't really... Probably just throw another potion in there, I guess. And save. I'm going to make sure I save. Look, I have saved. Depart as soon as you're ready. Okay, let's do the optional ones first. Defeat the deserters. Okay. Deserters. These Heartless deliver desserts. You can't convince me otherwise. Bad symbol monkey. I forget the name of this track. I know it has the word, like, rumble in it. But it's not, like, ready to rumble. It's, like, troubles. It's not troubling rumble. It's... Oh, shoot! You stop thinking about the music and pay attention. Yeah, using the limit seems appropriate. Whoop. I forget how squishy Roxas is sometimes. No, no, get back, no. They're running away. When did I remove air dash? I'm trying to air dash, and I'm like... Or is it... Oh, that's right. It's that button. Because why would the Kingdom Hearts series have a unified control scheme? That would just make sense. $120. All right. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. So if you go back and you do the missions, you earn emblems and crowns, and you can unlock extra stuff. That's what that is. If they all ran like Kingdom Hearts 1, I would never be able to play. Fair. Depart as soon as you're ready. Have you played any of... I genuinely don't remember, Bad Roxy, if you've played the others. Morningstar, team up with Xigbar. Okay. Okay, this track is absolutely called Rising Tension. And it is a banger. You know what? These guys aren't even what we're here for. There it is. Played BBS in 3D. 3-bit got too difficult for you. That's entirely fair and valid. Stop it! I just want to open this treasure chest. Ah, there we go. And now it's closed up again. Great. And it seems, so long as it's closed up, it's a button. Glad I have a couple extra levels on Cure. No, get out of there. Get out of there. Okay, I was hoping that barrel might fly and hit one of the many Heartless in this arena, but, you know. Xigbar, why did you have to get in my way there? Oh, thank you, Zigbar. This fight is obnoxious. Like, I think you're supposed to use the barrels, and if you hit it, it'll stop, but they move so quickly, it's a little difficult. Ah, Roxas, close the gap. There we go. Ow. Rude. Want to make sure there's no treasure chest in there. Oh, a powerful enemy is here. When I'm out of healing, that's great. That's wonderful news. We're leaving. Eye cream. But it's so sad. There's no Axel. Hey, Catholic Brit, good to see ya. Ship is double cast. That's way too big to try and fit in anywhere, I think. Well, actually, hold on. We move that there. Yeah, Tetris. Because then we can get a bit more cure. Actually wouldn't mind having Thunder equipped. And a bit more fire, why not? Thank you, thank you. I'm doing well. I had a very nice retreat at Lake George. It was very quiet and just kind of nice and prayerful. Hey, I have the second page unlocked. But yeah, no, it was just a nice time. Did some good reading, slept a lot. I took like a 3-hour nap one day. It was great. Got stuck by vampires this morning, though. Had to do blood work for a doctor. And they could not get my veins to save their life. They literally went left arm, nope, it wasn't bleeding. Right arm, nope, wasn't drawing. Back to the left arm, nope, still wasn't drawing. Back to the right arm. Finally, we got it. I read 2 books for like spiritual and work stuff. One of them was called... It's like Young Adult Ministry in a Rising Hispanic Context. It's not a great title, to be honest, but it was really good content. And then the other was Young Adult American Catholics. It's basically little essays about the concept of vocation, like what it means to to follow God in your life. You know, not necessarily capital V vocation, but some of it is. But just from young adults, various young adults. So I read a good portion of that. I'm going to keep reading it. And then for personal reading, I was reading Who Plugged Roger Rabbit, which is the sequel to Who Censored Roger Rabbit, which is the book that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is based on. It's a delightfully quirky little book. Eliminate Heartless. Can do. But yeah, if you're a fan of noir and you want a good parody of noir, honestly, Who Censored Roger Rabbit is great. Not in Recon today, so I should probably steer clear of the Coliseum. All I have to do is defeat some Heartless, and then I can head home. Oh, some sweet summer child. Excuse me, my good sir, that could have hurt someone. Oh, that's your problem. You had the cannon set to Jumbo. You want it set to Wumbo. No, don't heal. Why can those other things heal? What? That is not fair. Like, the normal ones can, but the fire ones should not be able to also heal. They have fire magic. Ow. Okay. I'm fairly certain I watched that glitch out quite a bit there. And then the pixels exploded. Yep. Good to see you, Step Zero. You need to finish the book I've been reading, but every time I think that lately, it's at times I'm like, I should start reading a book. I promptly fall asleep. Yeah, I keep books on my bedside table, thinking like, oh, I'll just read like a chapter or two before I go to sleep, and then I just go to sleep. Roxas, have you got good diamond, kid? We got a Heartless situation in the Coliseum. Wait, other people sleep? What? You heard me, and Herc's nowhere to be found. I know this is no job for a rookie, but I ain't got much of a choice. This is a real deal, so stay sharp. I will. Hey, hold on. Let me give you 2 words of advice. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Don't get careless. Right. It's a good book. I have less than 100 pages. Oh! I hate that when it's like, I'm so close to the end. Because sometimes at the end of a book, I'm like, I don't even want to finish it. Oh, look, we're getting more flashbacks. It's like, I don't want to finish this book yet. We're so close. Ow, this is going poorly. I dodge rolled. I hit the button. Even started the animation. Because know the enemy has frame priority. Oh, and CPU priority. Let's chugga-chug go. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. Hold on. I pausing it fixes it. Pausing it fixed it. Sure. Why not? We're probably gonna pause a lot in this fight. Excuse me, I was healing. You're not supposed to leave the ring. Only I can do that. Oh, dear. I hate these armors. You're such a pain to fight. You make faster progress on books that you read while procrastinating at work. Children of Dune, rather than you do books getting ready to go to bed. That's fair. I mean, work or machinations of a sandworm semi-deity managing the evolution of humanity for millennia. I mean, I can't read at work. Well, I can when I'm not streaming. And I do, because it's literally part of my job. But, you know, I can't procrastinate at work. I can be like, hold on. Oh. See, I can't get away with that. So if you can read at work for stuff that's not work, go and enjoy it. Also, thank you for indulging me on that stupid hit. Ow! And now I'm blinded. Whoop. Yeah, these armors move around or turn around way too quickly, in my opinion. Hey, Clavier, how you doing? Did you have a good summer assignment? Are you all done with it? Are you still there, or is it back to the formation house? Stream is good, except for when game is glitching and this enemy is being a butt. Bum 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 bum. Unless you have a deacon around, you have to read at work, which is a bit less flexibility on what you read than I have while procrastinating. Yeah, it's fair. Whoop. And Rotda. So today is the dedication of the Basilica Saint Mary Major, Santa Maria Maggiore, or Sacrosanta Maria Maggiore. Only the four papal basilicas can use the title Sacrosanta. But it's actually a really important basilica. Ow. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh, Dingo's Bed Kitties. We're out of healing items. This could be a problem. It's actually an incredibly important basilica to the Paulists, because that's where our founder, Isaac Hecker, would pray when he was in Rome during his time of what led up to our founding, particularly in the chapel of Santa Maria Salus Populi. So we kind of share in that devotion. But the basilica itself has a great legend. It admittedly didn't show up until several centuries after the dedication of the basilica, wherein supposedly Mary appeared in a vision and was like, I want a church dedicated to me. And so the Pope was like, okay, where? And so Mary made it snow in the middle of town, in the middle of August in Rome, in the perfect shape of what is now the layout of the basilica. I'm getting stuck in this model. So it's sometimes also known as Our Lady of the Snows. Father Hecker was a convert from vaguely Methodism, but his mom was very practicing, but the rest of his family wasn't. And he actually tried a little of everything before becoming Catholic. But anyway, so it's why is celebrating a papal basilica important? Well, there are 4 of them. And along with St. Lawrence outside the walls, each of them represents one of the 5 ancient patriarchates, but they're 4 important stational or sort of cornerstone places of spirituality of the Roman Church, obviously in Rome, but even beyond of the Roman Church. So it's kind of celebrating the dedication is like, yeah, okay, the building, but also our dedication to Mary, Mother of God, as a whole church. This has turned into a Dark Souls fight where I'm out of Estus flasks. I should just get good. Unfortunately, they were all out of Get Good at the store, so I couldn't get any. No! Dang it! Ah! You were still a Protestant when you went to Rome, so you didn't visit any of them? Well, that's okay, because they're still there. Oh, the Dark Souls fight, the camera would be blocking me? That's true. I've never played a Dark Souls, so I wouldn't know that. The secret of a true Dark Souls experience is always the camera being the greatest enemy. Oh, okay, so it's Kingdom Hearts 1 PS2 original version. Burkwood, that will have a follow-up. Okay, why are there times when Jesus asked people to tell Noah that he had done miracles, and other times he asked them to tell everyone? Mainly asking, especially since a lot of tasks they didn't listen anyway. Well, that is also a great question. And not one we necessarily have an answer to. There are different... Because ultimately, obviously, it's within the mind of Christ. And as much as I'm a follower of Christ, I cannot read his mind. I just try to listen to when he talks to me. Oh, that thing hits like a brick. Nope, get... Okay, I survived. There are some where it's like, you know, the reverse psychology thing. Shh, don't tell. And then they wind up telling anyway, and he's like, haha, you have done the thing I actually wanted. There are other theories where it's more like, you know, Jesus in his human form knew that if word got out about the miracles, everyone would be coming to him, and he didn't want that. There's others where there's a sense of a prophetic secret, which is probably the most likely, honestly. Just given the context of Jesus and the history of the prophets. I'm not an expert in it, and in the middle of this fight, I don't know if I can give all the brain space needed to fully explain it, but basically just that sense of, like, the work of a prophet is not always visible in everything that they did right away. Ow! Why does that punch hurt so much? I dodged! I dodge rolled! You are a cheater! You have to be, like, right behind this guy to hit him. Yeah, and it's, you know, how we understand the humanity of Christ is incredibly important. Like, our Christology, it matters beyond just saying that Jesus was human. I like Lonergan's explanation the best. It is roughly that it's like a human individual who understands himself as being uniquely loved by the Father because he has the divine personage in him. And that's because Lonergan was really working very closely on sort of how do you, not modernize in the sense of like update, but like the language used in the first half of the life of the church, particularly at the councils, is not the same. So when we say something like person, you know, like there are 3 persons in the Trinity, the way that was understood at the Council of Chalcedon is not necessarily the way that it would be understood by just a random person on the street today. And that's important. It doesn't mean that Chalcedon is wrong, it just means that we need to be attentive to the language we're using. And so he was trying to best explain how we might understand the more ancient idea of person versus not just using the implicit modern English understanding of it as like an individual. I mean, there is an individual, but it's not just that in the Greek. It's more closely tied to a lot more. And so for Lonergan, person became sort of the subject of perception. Yeah, monophysitism, miaphysitism, understanding that. Get out of there. Okay, we still have our high potion, and we're already down to... Oh, there's the Dark Souls moment. And honestly, even unfortunately, the reality of some of the splits from the early councils is because of the language, because of different parts of the Empire and how language was evolving versus not. And then you get Father Evan in chat. What fictional language, Kongling, would you like to hear it mass set in? I mean, I know a priest who's used Klingon because he said mass at a convention, and he used it for like one of the intercessions. He had the good sense to not use it for the Eucharistic prayer, but... I'm trying to think of the most beautiful, sort of poetic, flowy languages in media. Elvish? That'd be cool. Also, good to see Calmage. Simlish. Oh, we go by the bar. Yeah, go by the bar. Woo! Let's go. Sindarin or Kenya. I don't know Kenya off the top of my head, but I'm guessing that's another. Oh, Tolkien elf. Oh, okay. I was not the only person who knew the appropriate response in that language. Let's go. Hey, nice going. You look pretty good out there. Thanks. Now that you're warmed up, how about standing on today's training? What? You're serious about getting into the big leagues, right? Well, there are two things every hero hopeful has to remember. Train every day. Okay, never mind. They do overdo it in this game. But I'm telling you, I'm not... No buts, kid. Now get to training. Let me know when you're ready. No. You can't make me. Burkadoo-doo! Electric Boogaloo! Relating to my first question. Are there times that you know, besides the Transfiguration, where they actually listened when he said not to tell anyone? I was looking over the readings for tomorrow, the Feast of Transfiguration, and they actually kept it to themselves, which I feel like doesn't happen often. Well, again, that's kind of tough. Like, some of them we do know where it's like, he says, don't tell anyone, then, like, and then all the crowds found out and came to him. I'm trying to think. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but... I don't immediately remember either. I am not the best scripture scholar in the world, and I am not ashamed to admit that. Hit the barrels into the Heartless. Okay, I'm hitting the barrels, but the Heartless are getting hit. There we go. Can I just beat up on the Heartless instead? That seems more my speed. Also begs the question, did they keep to themselves because they were apostles? You know, I feel with the Transfiguration, it was probably such a big thing that they were like, I don't know what just happened. Let's just not talk about that one until we're ready. Ortana Lavino. Anwa Ortana Lavino. Okay, I can add that to the list of languages I know the Pascal response in. Let's hope yes, Deep Learning. Get the 100 points. No. Because I know, obviously, Christ has risen, truly has risen. Christos anesti, alithos anesti, kerestos tenestual, gibrati tenestual. And now, Ortana Lavino. Anwa Ortana Lavino. Multi-part chorus made up of Klingon, Elvish, and Dothraki. That sounds like a lot. I don't know if that's tonally gonna work. Do I have to... Like, I'm guessing 100 is... Maybe I have to get at least 50? Because I'm, like, this close on the mission meter. Oh, hey, it really... I have to fail the mission. Or no, I'm collecting hearts. That's what this mission is. Okay. I thought this was defeat a special Heartless. I got distracted. Did I miss Rotada? I'm afraid so. But it's the Feast of Mary Major. So the highlight is we dedicate ourselves to Mary. We dedicate the Church of Mary Major as a sign of how we, the mystical church, the mystical body of Christ, dedicate ourselves to Mary. I'm just here for the hearts. I don't care about the training. Phil can yell at me about getting a 0. Oh, you're hunkered down in the path. Oh, dear. Well, I hope... It sounds as if the sun's coming out. You're doing okay. And that's good news. No. All right, that's enough for today. Actually, it's more than enough. Between giving that Heartless pest a pound and all the training you put in, you know, you could really... Could really what? Could really use more practice. Tell me, you're gonna need it. Thanks, Phil. Collection of hearts. I guess I'll RTC. I'm reliably informed that the sun will come out tomorrow. I'm reliably informed that the sun is a deadly laser. Phil, I'm back! Where you been, Hoik? We've been drowning in Heartless while you were off Zeus knows where. Heartless? Where? Let me at him, Phil. Too late. New rookie took care of him. I'm telling you, champ, the kid ain't half bad. 7+ inches of rain between yesterday and today, and wasn't even in direct path. It made landfall further north. Oof, that's a lot. To love Gales to be fed Otts 2010's memes. Yes. Yes, Bad Roxy, your husband has good taste. Depart when you're ready. Oh, I need to put potions back in. You just keeping up with emails on your phone? That's, I mean, you know, if your internet's out, so darn. Who is the beastly master of this castle? Team up with Zeldin to investigate. And now I'm trying to translate Crisis from the Dead, trampling down death by death, and fun those in the tomb bestowing life into Kenya. This is apparently what I need to do at the office when everyone's computers are running and I don't need to fix anything. You know, I mean, when it's smooth sailing. Aw, thank you, Roxy.
It's still dark and empty as ever. It's practically a cave fitting home for a beast.
The castle's master? Kind of works, but it's glitchy and not working the best, so I'm not gonna complain. Exactly. Oh darn! The internet's not working on my phone. That looks like a game controller. Yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow.
You've seen him, haven't you? Every inch a monster.
So you've done a little exploring here on your own then. So why are we doing?
Yes, I suspect it was some kind of spell that left him in that state.
Spell.
The data we've collected suggests he was human originally. The exact sequence of events is unclear, but it was a spell that forced him to live as that thing.
Zaldin is Wolverine having home vibes. You mean with the really pointy sideways that come down, out, and then back up? For no good reason. Wow, that can't be fun. And like up his cheeks, like meh.
We're here to analyze, not sympathize. Let's begin hunting for clues.
All right.
We'll leave the beast chambers for later. Let's search the rest of the castle first.
If you say so. I like how checked out Roxas is on this. He's just like, whatever, man. We're just. You'll think we'll be you checking on your car. Yeah, that is important. Let's see what's behind door number 2.
Fox, we have to keep a low profile, you fool. No more throwing doors open. I won't have it.
Fine. I guess I won't investigate the castle then. Might go check in a minute since it's finally stopped raining for now. Seems wise. Oh, hey, look. Price pod. No. Where did that Heartless go? Did it despawn? Because I'm still considered in combat, so I can't examine this. Gonna go check. All right, go check. May your car be safe. Do. This leads out to some kind of bridge.
The only route into the castle, remember that, Roxas. If a giant Heartless were to attack, it would be through here.
Why is your health bar yellow and then green? Ah, good question. Okay, but that's a big if. So if my health dips below where it's yellow, I can activate my limit break. Which gives me like a short period special attack. Basically a very powerful combo. But it's a risk-reward thing, 'cause it's like, if you let your health get that low, you know, you're in danger of being smacked. Look at the way Stone's been kicked up. No, the sign of the beast fought the Heartless?
And also a sign of his power far exceeds anything I anticipated. Perfect.
Don't make it weird, Zaldin. Why do sunglasses keep appearing over your head? That's a status. That means I've been blinded and some of my attacks might miss. Because this is the Kingdom Hearts that best handles status effects. Because it is, in fact, an RPG. Meep. Meep is here. I think that's everything in the courtyard. So let's go back into the lobby. Hopefully that will have reset this Heartless. And it did. Now it's not a problem. Scratch marks.
Work of Beast Claws, no doubt. He's not what you'd call a tidy fighter, is he? It looks as though he was fighting a losing battle.
Nerd. Lay it on me, Calmage. What's your question?
Shh, I hear voices.
Oh, Master won't even to bow.
Master? Oh, then it must be the servants come away unless you draw them any attention.
Right. Beasts is in the... If I go to the left, I believe.
Wait, something is here.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Oh, another day of Master skulking around the castle, chasing down those creatures. At this rate, he'll go an entire day without speaking to Belle at all. Again! Oh, this can't go on much longer. We're running out of time. Running out of time? For what?
But you see, this is one of the castle's residents, and like the beast, a human once.
You think he's under the spell too?
If I had to venture a guess, and from the sound of it, this spell came with a time limit.
What happens when time runs out?
What indeed? Let's continue our search and stay out of sight.
I was certain. Yeah, you sure were Lumi. No, not Lumiere. Cogsworth. Let's hope he doesn't just notice the random Heartless that showed up, but, you know, whatever. How do I evangelize church to non-intellectual Protestants? I feel pretty confident in my apologetics on issues of sola scriptura, true presence, the saints, etc. But I've run into a few who don't really have intellectual conviction to Protestantism instead of stuff. Well, Pastor Dave said Catholics is false and the Pope is evil, so that's the truth. What is sense, you know, depending on how, if they're not really willing to engage in a sense of dialogue and discussion. Oh, nice sofa.
No breaks, Roxas.
No, I wasn't. Just. You know, you can't. You just kind of gotta be willing to say, okay, then not gonna have this conversation. This room looks just like the beasts.
I sense someone may be inside. Whoever it must be important to warrant accommodations as fine as the masters. Peek inside, see who it is, Roxas.
But ultimately, you know, it's the core of evangelization is witnessing the joy of the faith. Like, show them the joy of what it means to be Catholic. Show them the fruits of a life of faith with the sacraments and grace, and let that speak. You know, the effects that God has in our life is often so much more powerful than any words we could come up with. You know, and accompany them, help them in their journey, because help them to learn to ask questions and dig deeper. You know, but also be willing to say, you know, if this person isn't wanting to engage in a discussion at this time around things, and because of what Pastor Dave says, you know what? I can't change that, so I'm just gonna let him be. I'm gonna say a prayer for him. Wonder if he's off chasing those horrid creatures again. He's had to do that every day for weeks. Chats aren't sending. Ah! And that chat got sent. I wish there were some way I could help. Perhaps ask Cogsworth and the others. I'm sure that together we can figure something out. Is your car okay, Britt? I don't believe it. The woman inside, she's human!
Really? Oh, just when I thought this castle was all freaks and furniture. And she must be Belle.
How do you know?
All the servants speak highly of her. It's only fitting someone so well regarded would be given such fine lodgings.
Yeah, she's pretty, isn't she? That's the important part, Roxas. It's okay, you're only like 3 months old. Car is fine. Hey, alright. Oh, hey, can I go in the ballroom for the first time? Sideburns are the heartless, animated intellect of a strong-willed individual known as nobody. You can say freaks and furniture. Yeah. This would be a bad time to discover you left your car windows down. Stop it! Bad dog. Bad dog. There's a balcony outside the doors here.
Fascinating, Roxas. Can you see anything else?
Not really, just the stars.
Anything useful?
Calm down, Zaldin. Sure, totally with you showing the fruit of Catholicism. Just worry that showing actions will have little effect if they have a mental block. Yeah, and the reality is, though, if they have a mental block, that's on them. You cannot... mental blocks like that are not something that we can control, and that can be a hard thing to learn in life and in relationships in different ways. But, like, having the humility to say, I can't solve this, I can't change this person's mind. And not to say don't talk to them, don't, avoid them, but to sort of recognize our own limits and say, you know what, if their heart isn't ready right now, their heart isn't ready. And I will be with them when they are ready. What do you need a big open room for?
Oh, why, it's a ballroom, and a quite lovely one at that. No place for a creature as hideous as our host, and it seems he agrees with me.
How do you figure?
He's not here. They're heartless here, but I see no traces of a struggle. I can only take that to mean that he's avoiding this place.
Okay, I think that's everything in this room. And who knows, you talking with them and sharing your experience with the church might plant a seed. Exactly, yeah. And that's the great thing, is that, like, when we're called to be evangelizers, it's not us alone. It's we are one piece in the whole body. And I give great thanks, for example, looking at the world and going, cool, I don't have to convert everyone here on my own. So I think we'll finish up this mission and then we'll go to a quick commercial break. I need more water. Because I chose today to do all the stupid voices that hurt my throat. Oh, this is where I did recon before.
Then we can return here later. The rest of the castle needs to be explored first.
Oh, okay. So I've missed something. Even within the church, in your own experience, one person's planting a seed, someone else keeps down the line. Yeah, exactly. And that's like, you know, when we talk about like vocations, it's actually really important to just plant seeds. Like, hey, I think you'd be good at this. You know, and to just continually encourage different people, because we don't know what other people have already heard. As exactly your hope, I don't expect my apologetics to convert it anyone I talk to, but just break. Yeah, and that's the key thing. Is just like plant those seeds, be with them, and have the willingness to say, cool, I cannot change this person's heart in this moment, but, you know, maybe something in the way I've witnessed and the way I've been around faith is just a sign for them to say, huh, maybe Pastor Dave doesn't know everything. Because good Lord knows I don't know everything. Sure, let's... These massive possessors are annoying. They just turn into more enemies. Wow, not omniscient. Dropped. Yeah, I know. Not omniscient, not a Bible scholar, unfollowed. I promise I'm studied in other things. I mean, I've definitely studied the Bible. I've taken many a graduate level course in that. I just don't consider myself an expert, nor to have the whole thing memorized. I consider myself, if I had to pick a school of theology of like that I feel most competent in and would want to go on for further studies, it would be liturgical theology, actually. I just think that the growth and development of liturgy across cultures and time is really interesting. Oh, hey. It's pretty here.
How would you compare it to the rest of the castle?
It's brighter. I guess most of the castle's pretty dark.
This room will be too in time. Dark with the beast's despair.
Okay, Zaldin. being a nerd about liturgical stuff. Haven't formally taken classes at like digging through the German Eucharistic prayers. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. But like I remember, two of my favorite classes in seminary were Sacraments of Initiation and the Eucharist, which was kind of the historic and theological development of both the sacraments themselves and the liturgical praxis of them. So we compared rituals of different eras and different locations. I wound up my final paper for Sacraments of Initiation. I did a reconstruction of St. Ephraim's baptismal theology and practice based on his hymnography. Parents didn't make you memorize Bible verses? Oh, well, I mean... They made me go to catechism class. I barely know the Bible, however, most people don't know the Bible at all, but I agree development of diverse liturgical tracts. Exactly. It's a blessing to be interested in liturgy, but also a curse, because then I notice more easily when their masses become illicit. Just because things are changed or not done quite according to the book does not necessarily mean they're illicit. It may be atypical and it may be outside the norm, and like I'm not saying to support it and keep doing it, but also to say I don't think it automatically becomes illicit either. I think there's a lot more nuance depending on the thing. Now, if you were to tell me about a priest who's like making up his own words and institutions, like that mass is not only illicit, it's invalid. But let's say a priest forgets the Gloria on a Sunday Mass, like, okay, it's not ideal, and it should be said, but maybe it was just he only got like 2 hours of sleep because he was at the hospital all night with a patient. And I fully believe in God's ability to say, yeah, okay, I see in the human weakness.
The Peace Footprints. He must have battled Heartless here.
Why would he want to fight them, though? I will get to your question, Kamaichi, I promise.
If I had answers, I wouldn't be here listening to your questions. We've got a good look around. I'd say we've gotten to know the beast rather well. You remember the way to his room, yes?
I think so.
Take me there.
Okay, that's what we were missing. I mean, sometimes you forget the Gloria and you're in the middle of the Eucharistic prayer. It's like, okay, well. So what exactly do I do as a priest? Like, am I a pastoral priest in a diocese? Or do I have another mission? Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I am what's known as a religious priest. I belong to the Missionary Society of St. Paul, better known as the Paulist Fathers. So we were founded in 1858. As that, I get assigned by my president to serve in various capacities around the world. So I can be sent to California to work in a parish. And most of our guys work in a parish, and I've worked in a parish up until quite recently. For the last 2 years, I worked part-time at our mother church in New York City, St. Paul the Apostle, as associate pastor. So, on parish staff, celebrating Mass, engaged in events, leading the young adult group, but also part-time with Busted Halo, the media ministry that I do this as a part of. And under that umbrella, obviously I've been streaming, but I do other stuff behind the scenes. But I have subsequently been asked as of July 1st, so a month ago. I was asked earlier, but it officially started July 1st to go full-time to Busted Halo with a special emphasis on national young adult ministry. So while I am obviously always a priest forever, and I'm still very actively a priest, I'm no longer connected to a parish staff. I am in residence here at the Church of St. Paul the Apostle, so I'm still on the Mass schedule and rotation, which I give great thanks for. I love the people here. They're great to worship with. And celebrating the sacraments is something that's really important to me as a priest, giving me life to continue to do this life, honestly. That is how I experience the grace of the sacrament of ordination, is through celebrating the sacraments. So I'm super thankful for that. But, you know, at some point I could be asked and be told, hey, do you think you could go be pastor in Austin, Texas, or, you know, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, or something like that? So I could just, you know, be asked and invited to change gears on that. Right now I'm in a specialized mission. So in that sense, I have a special mission. I am a missionary priest, but, you know, I could also live out my identity as a Paulist with our unique charism and our mission, because we are missionary priests. We are the Missionary Society of St. Paul. That could take the form in a parish. So I hope that answers your question. To quote Scott Hahn, Franciscan University of Steubenville, a Protestant knows the Bible like a mail carrier. Catholic knows the Bible like a child. Mailman knows that the Jones live at 1302 East Street, while the child knows they live at a red house corner with 2 palms, and they have a loud dog. They both know the neighborhood, just different ways to navigate it. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, and I love that. I love the image of like, yeah, I know it's like, I know stories in the Bible. I like, ask me a verse. I'm terrible at that.
Stop. We're not alone.
Yeah, and again, there's still nuance, because sometimes part of the Mass will say in this or similar words, and there is even within the germ opportunity to modulate a few things or give explanations. So, you know, now don't get me wrong, I also know the reality that you're talking about, and it's like, oh, that, you know, it's awkward, and it's like, you're not really supposed to do it that way. But 2 things: 1, God's grace is more powerful than any human being, and 2, there's a term in canon law called ecclesia supplet. The church provides that the good intention is still there, so the graces are still found. Despite human weakness and flaws, God's grace still finds its way to us, and I give great thanks for that. The only claim things as being illicit when multiple... That's fair. Yeah, and getting the input from multiples to say, you know... Oh, it is El Rebel, as the monsters in back next to end. If only there was some way we could get rid of them for good. Or like this, what can I do? I don't even have arms to hold a sword. Was Lumiere a swordsman? He must be the others. Another human under the spell.
It seemed everyone here underwent some sort of transformation.
How do you suppose they wound up under spell? Because the beast was a jerk and selfish. The Bible verses that I'd be able to pull from memory are one said in Liturgy of John Chrysostom, or related services. Probably wouldn't be able to tell you chapter more specifically. But the Beatitudes, this is a psalm. Yeah?
I wouldn't say. We may find some clue in his room.
That's just past here.
Then let us be going. Don't be spotted, Roxas. Metal Gear.
Why did... Why did he turn around that way? He turned around... Look, he turned... I don't even know anymore. Cleaning supplies.
Stop wasting time.
Yep. Ecclesia supplet. And that is... It's also kind of like, oh, what's the Latin? Opere operandus? Something like that? I forget. I used to have it memorized. But it's basically that, like, because of the way the sacraments work, the floor is all torn up. Because of the way the sacraments work, the floor is all torn up. Good job. No.
He fought tooth and nail to stop the Heartless here. There must be something awful ahead.
In Opere Operato, yeah, there's multiple formulations of it, but basically, you know, a priest can be in a state of great sin and celebrate Mass, and it will still, the consecration still happens because the grace is ultimately being done and given by Jesus, not by the priest. Yeah, high potion, don't care. I got like 20 of those. Oh, finally we can investigate the statue. Did this get knocked over in an earthquake?
Use your eyes. Those are claw marks. Beast destroyed this himself. He was victim to either a stray blow he fought the Heartless, or else some other rage he felt compelled to vent.
Priests be overworked regardless of age? Never. A joke I sometimes like to share, although not everyone gets it's a joke, which I feel is weird, is it's like, weird statue, huh?
Art is beyond our ken, Roxas. It takes a heart to feel moved.
Oh, okay. You know, being a priest is a terrible job. You work weekends and holidays. I mean, come on. And people are like, oh, it's like Sunday Mass, Christmas, Easter, like these are my big days. Like, it's actually a good thing that I'm working on them. These picture frames have been knocked all over the place.
The beast can't control his rage. It muddles the heart, poisons the mind.
Read my mission. It's pretty cool. I wish we had a lot of priests online engaging. Yeah. It's tricky. Pope Francis is called Pope Benedict as well. Pope Benedict termed he had a great term for it, the digital continent. And I think I consider myself kind of a nomad evangelist on the digital continent. But yeah, feels like a lot of Christian stuff online is very much of the world, so to speak, and need more Catholics. Yeah. Well, thank you for the prayers and blessings, Calamage. Yeah, it's it's always that balance, and there's also the importance of the voice of the laity, and like as Second Vatican Council puts it, there's the universal call to holiness. This is not an optional thing. This is what we are all called to in light of our baptism.
This is the beast room.
Who's the bishop of that continent? I guess it would be Solis because the internet started at the U of U, so yeah, I'll take a look inside with a door all the way open. How did the witch decide what furniture became people and not? Looks like he's out. There's something at the far side of the room. Selden's too lazy to walk across. Just teleports over there. Hey, Gail, thank you for the 20-month resub. Thank you so much. It was an arbitrary AoE.
My.
Huh? Selden, how did you...
This rose, I sense power in it. The beast must hold quite dear.
Dude's names are Lumiere and Cogsworth. Okay, fair, but I mean Mrs. Pot. Or Potts, or I forget if it's... Anyway. And Chip. Isn't Selden also after the Rose in Kingdom Hearts 2? This is where it started.
Well. We have made quite the discovery, haven't we?
The rose? Why do we care about some flower?
Well, Tell me what you make of it.
It looked important to him. He obviously takes really good care of it.
Precisely, Roxas, that is no ordinary rose. To him, at least, it seems to hold more value than anything else in the castle. You saw the room, it was in tatters save one corner.
Maybe that's why he's been fighting the Heartless. He wants to protect the rose? You see the sun! Praise the sun!
Of course, some strange power surrounds it. The Heartless are drawn to it.
Then his fight is far from over.
Our work here is done, Roxas. The beast's weakness is clear.
It is?
I'll see you in Kingdom Hearts 2. To hold something dear is to let it hold you. His heart is enthralled to it, don't you see?
No?
And that, Roxas, is simple weakness.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I follow.
Nor should you. You have no heart to love with. Come, we return.
Okay. But yeah, Gale, the whole... Keep in mind, this game is setting up for Kingdom Hearts 2. I need more backpack space. Hey, Catholic Brit, Twitch finally recognizes the Prime sub. Yay! Thank you so much for the sub. What? I got spotted. Yeah, this came out after Kingdom Hearts 2, but it is in fact a during quel of Rechain of Memories. This is happening simultaneously, leading up. So if you know your Kingdom Hearts 2, and you know how it starts with counting the days, well, that's... Oh, come on! Yeah, just because it came out after doesn't mean chronologically. Yeah, during quel. Haven't you ever heard that? So it's technically a sequel, or an interquel, that's also a term sometimes used. So it's an interquel to Gashes.
Besides, he fought hard.
I think I should be able to get through here, because he'll to the right. Oh, come on! I mean, I know he's a candle, so he has, you know, hopefully good vision in the darkness, but... I'm guessing there's going to be a powerful enemy here. Nope. I'm thankful for that. Oh, you're here early. Work was easy today. Guess Axel's still out on that classified mission, huh? Nana Kit, thank you so much for the tier 1 gift sub to Rainbow Unicorns. Tantalizingly close on a hype train. So where'd they send you, Roxas? Beast Castle with Zaldin. You remember the Castle Master, Shion? Meant that to be anonymous. Oh well. Yeah, the beast we saw. You know, you were right. He does have something he wants to protect, something he cares about. Actually, if you do it anonymous, you don't get the hype train participation. Happy sub with the Prime that I have for only this month. I appreciate getting to be here and appreciate you making work easier, a lot more fun. Hey, I'm glad. Really? Yeah, but someone says that's a weakness. Oh, excuse me. Why would caring about something be a weakness? Also, thank you for the 300 bits, Nanakit. I don't know. I don't get it either. We'll do that after we come back from the break. Because we're going to do this, and then as soon as we're back at the castle and have control, going to take a quick stretch break. I hope Axel comes home soon. I'm so close to leveling up. Air slide level 2. That's actually, or level plus. That's really good. Oh, sure. Fix the wheel off camera. Well, you know. Also, just fast forward like 20 days. Unlike mines. Hey, Rainbow. All right. We're going to go. We're going to get a stretch break. I need more water because, my goodness, these terrible voices I'm doing are ruining my throat. So go up. Go ahead. Stretch your legs. Get a drink of water. Do what you need to do. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we are back. So I guess I I owe a candy wheel spin to Nana. Okay. How am I suffering today? Oh, beer candy. Yay. Which one? Roasty stout. I feel like I got that one recently. Oh well. I do laundry during the break. I've come to the conclusion that tilling the soil is not the payment for sin, but clothing all the washing is. Well, there you go. And here's this for you. Oh. Why? Why does it have to taste like this? Sorry. Debatable. Why does beer candy sound both like it would be good and like it would be awful? Because I think... Ooh, there's something new. I think it's because... It sounds good because of the flavor profile, but in fact... They did a terrible job of translating it. Because I think there's like a crispness with the... with the hops and, you know, with the various profile you can do. What do they even flavor it with? That's a good question. Natural and artificial flavoring. You want to go try it, I mean, it's... I mean, this one just tastes kind of like a bad mocha. Like, it's a little chocolatey and coffee-ish, but it's just kind of like, yeah. And it doesn't have the lack carbonation. You lose your edge, Roxas. Go get some... I am not training...
It seems the inorganic imposter has surfaced.
Shion? She's probably working, like always. I mean, good for her and all. It makes me look even lazier. You are lazy, Demix. Greetings, Scopo. And then it has this like weird saltiness to it. I don't know where that's even coming from. So that's not like any other stout I've had.
I'm sending you to a new world today.
Ooh, new world. Where are we going? Neverland? Oh, no. Oh, wow. I forgot this was in here. I forgot Nightmare Before Christmas was even in here. Goze stout. See, that sounds tasty. This is just sad. Because it's kind of got a creaminess to it. Like it's a milk stout or something. But I think the sugar's... I think, honestly, the sugar's the thing that ruins it. no, it's still missing something. Something new, something fresh. Because, like, something so earthy, I don't want it to be so sweet. I want this Halloween to be a festival of fantastical frights. There must be something. I love how their ingredients give you no info. Yeah. Oh, that's a bomb. He was a skater bomb. She's... she said, see you later, Mom. Or like, they're going to make it sweet beer styles that align with that. Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. One of them they chose was a honey ale. Which is kind of on the sweeter side. It's still bad. And it's a hard candy, so it's gonna last. I hear you, Heartless. Bye. I see why they're called skater bombs. This VOD is now flagged for copyright on YouTube. Well, the bomb disposal made that easy. Oh, that's the upgrade. I have 2 dashes now. Okay, so still... Aha! There's the one I missed. And, like, I'm so close to completing this mission and getting the bonus. It's almost like a burnt caramel. Trick or treat! Huh? Ha! Get tricked. Get rotated, nerd.
We got you.
Ran off. What was that about? I should get back. Roxas is so done with this. Something fresh, something trembling with terror, erupting with excitement. What was that? A swirl of sinister smoke. There 1 minute, then gone. That's never been here before. Something unfamiliar popping up in an unfamiliar place. Popping. Eureka!
That was fun.
Wonder who it was. Just threw a bomb into a stranger. Don't know, don't care.
If we see him again, he'll get another trick.
Little brats.
Huh? What's this thing? Hey, come see.
That worked out so well for you last time. Hey, Roxas. Axel. You're back. Yep, I just got home. When you're mortal, you can take a lot of risks. How you holding up? Where's she on? She's not here yet. Huh. It's getting late. This isn't like her. Oh no, is it Shion's turn for an existential crisis? How could he say that? He's wrong. It's not a sham, and neither am I. Oh. What established character with white hair could possibly be speaking to her? Ooh, new level doubler. Day 150. We're almost halfway through this game. This is only episode 4. What's up, Riku? There was someone said to be an imposter. Just give me another chance. You can't see the haters.
We can't afford to expend any more chances on you. You were a mistake we never should have made.
Ooh. Shion? Drama bomb. Today's mission took me to a new world. It was a weird place. I was up at the clock tower afterwards when Axel turned up after being away forever. He said he finished that long mission, but this time Shion didn't show. I was gonna give Axel that winter stick, but I should wait until I get another one. It would be fair to leave Shion out. Oh. Oh, he has a heart. Heckif. I don't know how well you can see the shape of this. It's gonna be complicated. I think I have to redo everything. Throwing this prayer request out there, always. Apparently 2 Catholic Charities homeless shelters had a lot of damage. Their tent areas. Oof. Yeah, no, prayers absolutely for those who are especially affected. Put that there. See, at least these click together. Yeah, no, absolutely, Brett. I'll keep all in my prayers in that. Yeah, it's very much, sadly, the truth of what happens, and I think Pope Francis has spoken a lot to that in Laudato Si, of like, the first to truly suffer are those who are most vulnerable economically. I actually want to move these down here because I just remembered we have a weapon to still install. Which one did I have equipped? I might equip Blizzard Charm here because it's got the best defense, and Magic Bracer is really nice. The downside to the system, putting every square in individually. But that takes us up to level 20. We're at like level 16, I think. Before we had that. Let's see. I definitely want aerial recovery. I don't really use block, even though I should. I guess I've got the space for it. I can put block here, increase its level. I can put treasure magnet here, and a couple of regular potions. That should be pretty good. Gale has redeemed a father joke. That helps break up all of what we just did. So someone was coming around door to door in our neighborhood asking for donations to support a neighborhood pool. They wanted to put in a pool that was public access that everyone could have and share. And they asked if I would make a donation. So I said, sure. And I gave them a glass of water.
You're my charge for the day. We leave once you're prepared.
Didn't take him long to give me more work.
Where's my vacation?
You had the day of vacation like everyone else.
Go with Zeldin for your mission today.
Eliminate the giant heartless. Okay.
I'd like to keep this quick. Don't drag your heels, Roxas.
Wow. Someone sounding a lot like Demix there. The other day, I randomly remembered a dad joke a priest in your childhood shared with you at the end of Mass. And you're grown remembering it. That's how you know it's a good dad joke. Are these big enough for you, Zeldin? Can we count these? I mean, they're bigger than a normal shadow. I have to send it to you. Thank you. I can always use more ammunition. I mean, jokes. This sliding dash is so weird compared to Sora's. Bum, bum. Hey, Zeldin, buddy, you mind moving? We're trying to explore here. I bet there's a treasure chest right around this corner. I was right. It's like I know the design philosophy of this game. I have sent you the joke. The joke has been armed. It is safely contained for now. Are dad jokes secretly an SCP? Yeah, I'll ignore you. I bet the big Heartless is in here. Or not. Thanks again for the music, Rex. You are most welcome anytime. Love sharing music, Rex.
Weaklings. Come, Roxas, we'll end them here.
If it wasn't for the copyright DMCA danger, I would probably do like a weekly DJ stream. But I don't want to buy... So, Twitch is starting a new DJ rights program, and it's a really good program, actually. From what I can tell, and from what I've heard. But it affects all you do, and you have to pay to do it. And it doesn't really apply to games, so... I enjoyed our music swap as well, Britt. Bad Gigas Shadow. Back to the Gigas Shadow with you. Okay, if you launch it into the air like that, I can't hit it. Whew, that takes care of them.
Enough dallying. We've wasted enough time here as it is. Let's find our target and be done with it.
That wasn't our target? It was a big Heartless. I used up, like, all my healing on that dude. Let's go Bell's side first. Oh, there's the last treasure chest, at least. Alright, to B-side. That's right, we're listening to the B-sides in this album. That moment when B-sides are better than the main album, actually. That moment when the B-sides are terrible. Well, that also happens, but sometimes the A-side also is terrible. But I'd say it's more rare when the B-sides are better than the A-side, and that's what makes it so special. I enjoy a bad B-side, though, like especially if it's just the band like goofing off. TTPD Black Bangers. What's a TTPD? Is that a T-Swizzle thing? The Tortured Poets Department. Oh, that is a T-Swizzle thing. Does it have bangers and ballads, though? It's a mini Dark Side! And it's purple!
Oh, there you are. Let's begin.
Okay, what do they actually qualify this as? I'm curious. Dark Follower. Okay, so it's not a Dark Side. It just behaves exactly like one. It's just kind of purple. There are certainly ballads on it. Well, there you go. I have not listened to any of the Tortured Poets Department, as evidenced by the fact that I had no idea what its acronym is. You said the correct answer to what TTPD is before I could make something dumb. Well, there you go. No, I'm blinded! it would have done much better if it released outside of the summer window. I thought it... Wait. When was I home and visited? It came out while I was home and visiting you. Unless you're going to tell me that's another T-Swizzle album, which I would entirely believe. Wait, the winter. Oh, so you're saying it should... Okay. So you're saying it should have come out in the summer. I don't know, I feel like moody girl music's good for the winter when you're dark and broody. In the 60s and 70s, your dad had a bar with jukebox and Pete got... He ripped it out and gave it to us, so we'd have to hear it again. Well, that's one way to handle your bops. This Dark Follower isn't hard, it's just obnoxious. Because it just has so much health. Yeah, see, Britt agrees about the moody girl music. But some people listen to moody girl music all the time. And you know what? They can do that. I'm gonna go listen to more ska. Oh, that was a waste of a limit. Oh, that was bad. Like someone threw a horn section, players and all, out of a flight of stairs. Yeah? It's great. It's a party. Some people think chihuahuas are pretty too. Not every idea is right. Ouch! Jane question. What would you consider ska? I feel like I don't fully grasp. Ska... Ska is defined by its use of a syncopated upbeat and its horn section. Broadly speaking, most people just call it, especially third wave punk rock, or just rock with a horn section, which is not entirely accurate, but not entirely inaccurate either. But it has to do with its development from a combination. So ska came about because after the Second World War, Jamaica got an economic boom and could afford radios, and they could pick up the jazz stations from New Orleans.
Toothless. Come on, Roxas, our mission is over.
Right. What was that?
Our beastly host, I'd imagine.
Came from his room. Did something happen?
I wonder. Come, we'll take a look.
Yeah, so ska... So New Orleans jazz stations come into Jamaica. Jamaica combines that with calypso, their native music. And that's where you get early ska. So that's Bob Marley and the Wailers. Yes, Bob Marley started as a ska artist before he started as a reggae artist, although ska and reggae are both born out of this fusion. They both just kind of take slightly different paths of how they apply the combination of things. Reggae being more towards the calypso side, whereas ska tends to be more towards the jazz side-ish at the beginning. It's hard to really pin down exactly, but it picks up the iconic beat. So in a lot of ska music, what you hear is everything is syncopated on the upbeat. So music goes downbeat, upbeat, and so there's a downbeat and an upbeat in the 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're counting on the ands in ska. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And with ska, it is an upbeat. It is literally upbeat, but it is that sense of like rising action within that. And so you hear that often in the bass and the drums and the guitars. Sort of that bum 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 rhythm in ska, with the horns kind of carrying the melody. That's known as first wave ska. Ska then gets picked up in the late 70s, early 80s, and that's happening in the 50s, 60s. In the 70s and 80s, it gets picked up in England and gets fused with a lot of like the working class music of the time, and becomes what's known as two-tone ska. So if you've heard My House by Madness, or Our House, Our House in the middle of the street, Our House. That is quintessential two-tone ska, thus named because of its two-tone style. It comes over to America in the late 80s and fuses with punk rock and becomes what's known as third wave ska, and that's where you get things like Real Big Fish, Less Than Jake, Streetlight Manifesto, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. And it really split into two schools at first, because you have West Coast and East Coast. West Coast tend to be more surf rock influenced and more party. East Coast tend to be more punk influenced and more angry. That's not a hard and fast rule, obviously, but that's a general rule. But all throughout that, through first, two-tone, and third, you have that syncopated upbeat of dun 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 dun, and the horns. So there's your random ska lesson for the day, kids. Thank you, Danica. I do quite like music theory, although I'm terrible at hearing some of it. So
The last rose petal is about to fall. When it does, I'll lose. No, I can't bear it. I don't even want to think about it.
Rose. How fascinating that
How fascinating that his beastly form must be tied to it somehow.
Skaholic priest. I've been called worse. It's related to the spell?
Yes, it seems if he doesn't complete some task in the rose's lifetime, he stays a beast.
One of his servants did mention something about time running out.
The key to his cursed form. This morsel will prove useful.
What do you mean?
I'd only waste time attempting to explain it to you. Come along, we must return.
Yeah, music theory is fun. There's a great series of videos by a guy called Julian Cianciarlo on YouTube. It's like music theory explained by someone who knows nothing about music theory. Yeah, where's she on? Haven't seen her today either. Oh well. Hey, Axel. Huh. Is there anything you couldn't bear to lose? What? Where'd that come from? I ran into somebody today and... Well, he had something like that. Something so important to him he couldn't bear to lose it. Why don't I have anything like that? Because you don't have a heart. Oh, I guess. Demix doesn't have a heart. I bet he'd get upset if I took his sitar away. True, but I don't think that's quite the same. I guess the closest thing we nobodies have is our past. You know, memories of the stuff we couldn't bear to lose, back when we couldn't bear to lose it. Oh. Too bad I don't remember my past. Well, what about your present? Huh? We've got memories from here in the organization, right? Yeah. I do, don't I? I couldn't bear to lose my memories of you or Xion. Well, see, there you go. Everybody's got something they want to hang on to. It's scary to think I could lose you guys. Oh, scary. Scary's a feeling, man. Yeah, I know I can't feel, but it's still a scary thought. A thought, then, but not a feeling. Are you sure? Maybe you just remember what it's like to feel scared and think you're feeling it now. Don't worry, we'll retcon this later. You know what's funny, Breaker? Out of like all of the big name ska bands of the late 90s, early 2000s, Less Than Jake is the only one I've never seen live. Just never actually had an opportunity to go to one of their shows. There's one I wish I could have gone to where it was co-headlining Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish with Streetlight Manifesto as an opener. Would have been awesome, but it wasn't in the cards. Started diving into modal scales. Ooh, sounds like you got a fun education. Another fun person I like on YouTube for music theory is 12 Tone. He does some really cool like individual song analyses, breaking down the components and the time signatures and the lyrics all together. If you're looking for really interesting takes on like scales, what is their name? Apples in Stereo. The Apples in Stereo, you probably know them because they did the Powerpuff Girls song on Cartoon Network, but the lead songwriter and singer of that band is fascinated with music theory, and he wrote a new scale. He calls it the Pythagorean scale, and it uses logarithms rather than the standard 1.5 times or whatever it is for the notes. I look into Poppet's eyes and I see determination. Come here, let me see your game face. What instrument would I like to play? Subcontrabass. Hold on. Subcontrabass saxophone specifically. 12 tone. Odomatone? I have an odomatone. It's right there. It's actually really hard to play Totem Tone. Anyway, this stream has become unhinged. This is a sub-contra-based saxophone. I would love to learn how to play one because of the memes, but in general, I would just like to learn how to play a saxophone. But anyway, a Kingdom Hearts stream, unhinged, more so than usual. Oh, what this game needs is a few thrills, don't you agree? What game? Wait, is he breaking the fourth wall there? Okay, pop quiz, Miss Treasure Hunter. Where are you at now? If you keep pace, it's 130. I think I've hit that mark. Aw, looks like you're keeping up just fine. Very nice, man. Somebody deserves a prize. Obtained shield tech. Yeah, you don't really have anything useful, but I do need to put some potions back in. Been sort of attempting to teach yourself guitar in Spanish struggle, but that's the next instrument goal. Nice. I hear guitars that when it's kind of I don't want to say the easiest, but it's easier to self-teach. Oh, I didn't want to talk. I already talked to you. Do I have enough time for another mission? Let's see how many there are. If there's a short mission.
Today we need you to go exterminate a powerful Heartless. Go unprepared.
Ooh. Eliminate the avalanche. I think we're going to save that for next time. So here's what we're going to do, because we still have a little bit of time. We're going to go goof off in a mission. Mission mode. Solo. Because I can't do multiplayer. I think it's pretty hard because it's not as intuitive to your brain as violin. Oh, okay. Yeah, look, we can play as Xion. I think eventually you can actually unlock Donald and Goofy, if I remember correctly, because there's definitely at least one more person. Maybe it's Mickey. Yeah, why don't we play as Axel? And it's using the panels we already have set up. So check out the different chakrams than what he usually uses. What world should we go to? I think Agrabah. We haven't been to Agrabah. Let's do a collect hearts. All strings on violin are fifth apart. It's not the case on guitar, so it's not as intuitive where fingers go. Oh, okay. Wait. Is ukulele a different layout? I did not know that. Of course, I've never played the ukulele. And probably my family gives great thanks for that. I already play things like the kazoo and slide whistle. Oh, whoops. You know what would go well with the 10 instruments? A harmonica. I don't have a harmonica. But that's a real instrument, so I don't know if that actually works. You can still just honk away on a harmonica. You can just honk away. But I like an instrument made of tin that I can honk away with purpose. Nope, I was looking through on something else on my computer. I thought I would be fine. I was not fine. Plus, if I want to truly honk away on a harmonica, I'll grab the harmonica in Untitled Goose Game. What? What do you mean? I was nowhere close to him. Or are you just upset because I stopped looking at him for a moment? Honk squares. I don't know why the game is getting so upset. You know what? I just want to smash Heartless. Tuning is quite a bit different. Ukulele isn't in pitch order. Why is it not in pitch order? Who designed this? Oh no! Breedy Bard! Welcome to the chaos. Good to have y'all. Thank you for the raid, Breedy Bard. Welcome, y'all. Hey, Blake. Good to see ya. If you don't know me, my name is Father Evan, Catholic priest. Stream here on Twitch 4 days a week. Right now we're having some chaotic times with Kingdom Hearts. We've talked missiology, theology, scripture, history of ska. You know, if this is your kind of thing, and you're not already a follower, I recommend hitting that follow button. Also, I need to give Bree a shout out, unless one of my mods is there and can do exclamation mark SO Breedy Bard. But welcome in. Good to see you, KMax. Good to see you, Flame. Hoi, Bree. What were you playing today, Bree? What were you up to? Oh, thank you, Gail. Did you see Stack Like Pancakes release new songs? No, I had not seen that. I need to check it out. I was playing Retro. What retro were you playing, Bree? Was this more, Sly Cooper? Are you in Sly Cooper 3? Final Fantasy 1. Ooh, that's a fun one. It's weirdly... I found the difficulty curve weird. But I enjoyed it. You weren't in a rush to listen to Nihilism. Xander's stream, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. I think I played this on DS. Yeah, and I'm totally playing this on DS right now. You can see secondary screen there and primary screen there, and here's my controller for my DS. This is totally how Shigeru Miyamoto designed the DS. Okay, that was a cool way to cast a spell, lining up the chakrams like that. Are you using the molded pineapple? The what? No, it's I think that I was more confused by the pineapple portion. I will not elaborate further on that part. Then I'm gonna say no, especially for legal reasons. I'll have a nice vacation, Nanakit. You can notice how much slower Axel is than Roxas sometimes. Oh, it's not pineapple, it's melon. Oh, that makes more sense. I do enjoy some good melon. It has the nice ability to increase the resolution of your models. Yeah, I'll show you. You know, maybe at GothCon. Am I gonna be at GothCon? Yeah, I am. I'm driving down with Feeble Blobber. I was looking at flight prices, and then I looked at how long it would be to drive, and I was like, you know what? That's actually not that bad. What's his little break like? Oh, it's a great big fireball. That's fitting. A balmy 100s. Oh, that's right. After you meet the goal, you only have 100 seconds to make it back to the gate. Run! Leaves me alone, Cogsworth. There we go. Hey, we got some mission crowns, so that's... we can use those in the Moogles. Get some extra special items. So we'll go ahead. We'll save there. We'll call it there for the day. Good. Work's been busy. Hunker down. There you go. Thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be back with y'all. Thank you again to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Checked out the YouTube, joined the Discord. Anything else special I needed to announce? I feel rusty. I feel like I haven't done this lately. But anyway, yeah, no, thank you so much to everyone, and thank you, Bree. Join us again tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going to be playing more Thomas is Alone, picking up where we last left off when my internet crashed, which was kind of weirdly fitting for the story. Wednesday, midweek Minecraft, and Thursday for Retro Thursday, it's going to be hopefully finishing up Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. So that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, so check out all those things. I hope to see you there. And then not this Saturday, but Saturday next. Yeah, I'm on Game of Faves. I've ordered up a special sudden death tournament, so I must make a command performance. So come root for me, help me win, help me get to the final game. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you to everyone, and let's see who is live to raid. Sending y'all over to Tech Talk with Daniel Albu. Sadly, no dual Mickeys. I know, but at GuffCon we could do it in person. Anyway, this guy he followed during the Indiana Jones stuff, and he does a lot of classic adventure games. But what he does is he will do interviews with the people who develop those games. Right now, they're playing Indiana Jones: The Infernal Machine. So it's a really cool way to learn more. We can't. Peter will enjoy it so much. Yep. Anyway, I think he's a cool dude. I've checked out a couple of his streams, so go on over, check him out if you want to learn more about those kind of games. But just want to support him and the way he's helping with kind of that educational component. So hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Take care and God bless.